Welcome to Get on the Ark. I'm here with Amy Pattison, and Get on the Ark. We share testimonies, miracles, and amazing stories about how God is transforming people and working in their lives. And I saw, on Facebook, I saw some posts from Amy, and I started looking at her journey, and I was like, wow, what an amazing story! I would love to have you on my show. So that's what I reached out, and that's how we. So Amy, welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Darren.
Yeah, so you have a really cool faith, fat to fit, just an incredible journey. So tell us how did it begin?
Well, I should preface it by saying I've always been a follower. Like I was raised, Christmas and Easter, we always in church. And then in my 20s, I really solidified my own relationship with the Lord. So I've always had God very present in my life. But I spent several years just really being that busy mom that so many women it consumes us in the best way possible. We're dedicated to being the best wives, the best moms. We're doing all the room mom stuff at the schools. We're volunteering. We're doing church and all of that. And just somewhere along the line, you just give so much, which you're happy to, but you lose yourself a little bit and you have less time for yourself. And so I found myself at, my kids were going to college. My husband is a successful businessman. He works all the time. And I found myself sitting at home alone and everyone was gone. And I was 210 pounds. Like I had over 15 years, just kept putting on weight. And I was going to the gym, but I was really just kind of checking the box saying I went to the gym, and I was using all it's my age, it's my hormones, it's everything. And there's no way I can, life is too stressful. And so, but I had gotten to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't stand to see a picture of myself because I couldn't see myself anymore. I just saw, honestly, a very fat person that I didn't love her. I was like, who are you? What are you doing? And I was sad every time I saw a picture. And so I kept wanting to do something about it. And I kept falling short. I kept starting every Monday morning. Okay, today's the day I'm going to start a new diet. And I just would fall off the horse by either Monday afternoon sometimes. Maybe I made it to Wednesday. Maybe I made it to Friday. But it was very inconsistent. I could diet for a few days and 30 days, lose some weight, but then I end up gaining it back. And so it was I just couldn't get into a rhythm. And I was just getting heavier. And I also watched my mother basically pass away from, diabetes, heart disease, and all the things from being overweight will do to you. So one night I couldn't take it anymore. And I was 51 at the time. And I threw myself down on the bed and I was crying because I was like, I need to make a decision. I either need to just be fat and be happy about it or do something about it, because hanging out here in the middle was driving me crazy. I didn't have any kind of self-respect because I wasn't fixing the problem. And then you beat yourself up because you're like, I don't have self-control. I don't have discipline. But you do have those things because you've successfully raised your children. You successfully run a business, and you have those things. You just won't apply them to yourself. So I was scrolling through Instagram and I just happened to land on someone I was following, and he had posted something about being a fat loss coach and coaching people to lose fat. And I don't know, in that moment, something made me DM him and say, I actually wrote, I'm a lost cause. I know you can't help me, but I'm texting you anyway. And we ended up doing a consult on the phone, and I joined the program, and I decided I was going to forget everything I knew about diet culture and diet mentality and everything I had practiced before. And I was just going to execute. And it took me a year, but in that program, I lost 70 pounds of fat. I became a completely metabolically and hormonally healthy person, all naturally, no drugs, no anything. And I built muscle that I didn't even know that was going to happen. Like I didn't even know that was going to be part of it. And I've never felt better. And I'm 54 now. I just turned 54. I've almost been living this lifestyle for 3 years. And the truth of the matter is, Darren, I believe God led me to this program because I now live a life that's very aligned with the way God intended us to live. And that's how I view food. That's how I view fat burning or fasting. And that's how I view taking care of your body and treating it like the temple it's supposed to be. And I take that very seriously now. And I just think God wanted me in this position because that turned into me. Now I'm coaching the same program, but I'm coaching ladies in their 40s and 50s that are in this, that were exactly where I was, and they were stuck and they felt lost, and they don't want to do drugs. They want to figure it out themselves. And I'm in a position now where I resigned my teaching position and I'm coaching full time. And I believe every person that God sends my way is, whether they sign up to work with me or not, we're meant to meet. Like there's always like just this awesome connection between us. So it's just been a complete, I mean, I would have never told you 10 years ago that I would be a fat loss coach at 4 years old. Like, it's crazy, but it's beautiful.
Wow. Well, so what were some of the biggest, I mean, I know the obstacles, the self-talk, I can't do this. And what were some of the biggest hurdles or changes, or what was some significant changes in your journey?
Well, I think it was, naturally it's more about just being honest with yourself and really taking responsibility for where you are, because we can tend to excuse away everything. So if you're an emotional eater, it's because you have high stress, or your life's harder than everybody else's, or you're having to deal with a set of circumstances and you want to avoid it. So you eat and you overeat. And so a lot of it was just overeating and needing to take responsibility for that, and understanding that no matter what your emotional problem is or what you're trying to avoid, you can eat and avoid it for a few seconds with a dopamine hit, but then ultimately that problem or that avoidance is still there. So you're not really solving anything. So that was a big change. And then also just upgrading my ingredients. So getting off of really highly processed foods and commercial foods. We were eating out a lot because that's just how our family was. My girls were gone. My husband worked late. I would do a lot of takeout, so I started cooking at home, cooking more organic, and just really eating more God's food, like what God intended us to eat. And that was a big changer as far as like reducing inflammation and just feeling better. But all of it's led to just having a fit and healthy body.
Wow. So how do we, if someone wants to find you or have you as a coach, how do we get?
Yeah, I would love that. If you follow, my biggest platform is Instagram, and I'm under Fat to Fit Amy P, and it's fat.fit. I'm sorry, it's fat.to.fit.amep. I had to put all these dots in there. Fat.to.fit.amep. That is my Instagram. I would love for you to follow me. I post a lot of my content. A lot of my content is the way I live, but it also is how you can get to my coaching link if you wanted to set up a consult about me working with you as far as fat loss goes.
Is that your Instagram?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Awesome. So what do you think what's the journey? Like when someone's like, I don't know what to do, I want to coach, but what's that mean? Like, say they reach out to you.
Well, that's a great question, because when I hired my coach, and that's who I work with now, like we work together, but when I hired him, I didn't even know online coaching was a thing. Like I was just like, that's why I know God just like led us together. And another part of the story, Darren, that I didn't tell you was that the coach I hired, like he had been working at the business for a while, but he was struggling to like just make it go for a few years. And when I had my call with him, he prayed that after we got off the call, I had prayed for God to help me find a solution, and he prayed for God to help him help this lady because he wasn't sure. I was like so desperate. I was like, I don't think you can help me. And we shared that with each other probably like 3 or 4 months into my journey, that we both had prayed about it. And we just feel like God put us together. And so with my results and the way I've been able to grow my social media, like the business has just, become very successful. So again, we give it all to God. But if you have a consult with me, online coaching means I'm going to teach you our program, and our program is focused on fat loss, not weight loss, which are two different things. We're focused on building muscle, and we're focused on educating our clients on the way we're supposed to live with God, as far as how we're supposed to not have food in such a high power position over our lives, and so coaching is basically, we're going to give you the program, but then we're coaching you through it. And I talk to most of my clients 7 days a week. So I'm available to my clients. I want nothing more than to see them successful. I design their workouts for them, and we do it all online too. So we have a workout app. I send you your workouts on the workout app. And then I'm available for you to talk to on a daily basis as far as your nutrition and your fat burning and all of those things. So the coaching part is just basically that. I'm coaching you through it.
Okay. So now, as a new client, do I have to go join a gym? Do I have to buy some equipment?
Oh, that's a great question too. I would say 50% of our clients already have a gym, and they work out at a gym, or they'll join a gym. And about 50% of our clients work out at home. Really, all you need is dumbbells and a bench. If you have like an incline bench and a set of dumbbells, we can do most everything there.
Okay, so it doesn't require a lot of equipment.
Doesn't require a lot. No, I'd like you to get heavy dumbbells though. So if you start off with like light ones, that's fine, but I want you to be able to progress to heavier ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So what are some of the, okay, so I was actually fat once, and
okay.
I went from fat to fit. So I understand the emotional transformation, and I'm curious to, like some of the, like, it's like night and day in terms of life. How did it change you? Like, what do you notice are some of the significant things in your life that have changed as a result of it?
Well, for one, I think the biggest thing was I spent so many years being fat or getting fatter that just doing the work myself, I proved so much to myself. Like it changed who I am, knowing that I could do it. Like the confidence you get from just working at it and dedicating a year to it, and then having the success, no one can ever take that away from me. Like I proved so much to myself in coming from a world of doubting myself and having so many insecurities. So I would say just the confidence and the secure, being secure in myself has been amazing. But I think it's also led me to just lead a very authentic life now. Like things that used to just spend you spin your wheels on or mattered so much just don't matter anymore. Like life is beautiful, and life is meant to be lived in an adventurous, push yourself kind of way. And we spend so many years just living in comfort, wanting to sit in front of the TV, under a blanket, with the comfort foods. And comfort will actually really kill you. Like it will take you down. And so one day I got out of my car and I was just like, I'm not just living anymore. I'm actually alive now. Like I'm actually alive. I'm doing things. I'm doing things in my 50s I would have never done because of insecurity or being out of shape or just not physically able to do them. So it's changed my life completely in the physical sense, but also in the mental sense of just knowing that I can do whatever I want to do. And to have that self-confidence coming from childhood and middle school and high school, always having weight issues, like never to have been confident in yourself, and now to feel that at 54. I mean, I want that for everybody. It's just a different way of looking at the world.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. So I know you've done like Spartan races, and like when you think about your plan, you think about God's plan, and you kind of look at your life, you're like, wow, I never expected this to be here, and to be able to do things that you never thought were possible, and But the amazing thing too is that you've done it consistently. Like you've not only changed your body, but you've kept it changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
How was that journey, or was something in the beginning you started with, this is a lifestyle change, or this is,
Yeah, I think that's a great question too. I feel like, so I've almost been, March will be 3 years from when I started as Fat Amy. And I spent that year, again, I wanted to just lose 50 pounds. I ended up losing 70. But what I did not know was that I would reverse all the inflammation. I would reverse all the aches and pains that I had developed along the ways from just carrying the extra weight. So the feel better, I didn't expect. And just the fact that I felt so much younger and so much better was a huge part of the transformation as well. And now I just feel that I'm dedicated to this lifestyle. So after that, for me, it became a lifestyle and not a diet, or not a program. It's just, and I feel like it's so easy since I've maintained it for 2 years since losing the weight. That's why I feel like it's meant, I'm doing what God intended me to do. Like, this is the way it's supposed to be. And that's why it's easy. As far as like, I don't feel like I'm working at it. I just feel like I'm listening to my body. I'm pushing my body. I'm challenging myself. I'm not giving up. I'm not, taking a back seat to anybody. I'm living my life, and I'm being a steward for God's design for our lives.
Well, how's that impacted your family? Like, how's that changed your family dynamic?
That's a great question too. You have great questions. I think it's been a little bit of a struggle because I was just Fat Amy for so long. And so what that meant was I was just momming it. Like I was, I did whatever I was supposed to do. I had my role, and I cherished it and I loved it. And but I also was very involved in things I didn't need to be involved with. Like with my girls, like if they had like drama going on with a girlfriend or they were dating someone, I was like questions and getting involved and all that. And I can be involved, but I don't have to immerse myself in it anymore. It's like the thing that's different is I have my own life now. I'm not only identifying as a wife and a mom. I'm also Amy that has built an amazing life for herself. And so it's been a little tricky to integrate that, but ultimately, like, my husband and kids have been so supportive, and they're very, very proud of me.
Wow. Has it trickled down, like from a nutritional health standpoint? Have they kind of started down that path too, or?
That's a great question too. I would say my daughters are, I think that one of my daughters did the program and she's kind of in and out of it. My husband does his own thing, always has, but he's lost a lot of weight too because we're not eating together all the time, because I'm not eating all the time. And then my younger daughter, it's so cute because she has her sorority sisters. They're kind of fans of mine, like I'm sure it's because my younger daughter speaks very well of me, but they just are so cute. And so when I'll post recipes or things like that, or I'll talk about how good sumo oranges are for you, they'll text me and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I love them, or thank you for this recipe. And it's so cute. So I think they're ultimately just very proud of me. But everybody in my family is independent. Everyone kind of does their own thing.
Okay. So your message to somebody that's kind of like, they're maybe afraid to jump in and make a commitment, or they're what's your message to someone out there that wants to get started, but they're a little fearful and they're trying to talk themselves out of it? What do you say?
Yeah, I can understand that too. But I think the thing I would tell you is that I've proven this to myself. I don't want anyone to wait another minute. There is no perfect time. If you are waiting for a perfect time to be able to have the patience and the bandwidth to take on a new program, it's just going to turn into more and more days of you not living your best life. This is true. To get your if you're overweight, you are slowly becoming unhealthier by the day. And to get the weight off of you and then lose the inflammation and then build muscle, because after the age of 50, we start losing our muscle pretty rapidly if we're not working to keep it. And if you want to live a long, healthy life, I don't they say muscle is the organ of longevity. And I like to say, I don't know about longevity because I think God knows when I'm going home and I have no say in that. But I do have a say in the quality of life that I live while I am still here. And that involves having a strong body and a lot of muscle. And I would just encourage anyone that's struggling with fat loss to understand that just staying on the diet roller coaster is never going to be your answer. Like, it really has to be a lifestyle change, and that is my mission and my passion now, is to help people understand that and to coach them through it.
Okay, and so someone can reach out to you on Instagram at
yes,
fat.2.fit.amy.p.
I'm so sorry, it's not the number 2, it's TO.
Okay, well, let me fix that.
Yes.
It's TO.
TO, yeah. Fat to fit.
Okay, fat to fit. And so when did you get on Instagram?
Well, I've been on Instagram for years, but it's funny because in November of 2023, I had 600 followers. And by May of 2024, I had 10,000 followers. And then it's just gone. I'm close to 80,000 right now. So it's just like blowing up. Yeah, it's been a blessing. But again, that's where most of my clients come from. Just total strangers that are out. And, I've had mostly from the States, but all over the country, from Canada. I have a client from Austria. Like, it's just amazing. But every person resonates with my story and they bring God up. Like, it's always a God thing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I love his divine appointments. He's such a great connector.
Yes.
And he does it every day.
He does. And the cool thing is just I listened and I just followed instead of questioning it, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to say yes. Whatever he says, just do it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a good lesson there too. So that's what I would encourage people to do. Like, if you, I just think it's so important to live your life healthy and not the other, unhealthy, that I feel for people that don't want to make the investment for themselves, because you're missing out. You're missing out on really understanding how good life can be and how good you can feel.
Yeah. Well, take us out. Your final message to people. What would you, direct them, lead them?
My final message would be, please, if you aren't interested in hiring a fat loss coach, follow me on Instagram. I give a lot of free content as far as just how to live a healthy life. But my message would just be, don't wait another day. There's not going to be a better time to take care of yourself than right now. And there's so much more to life on this side of fat loss and fitness.
Awesome. Well, Amy, thank you so much for sharing your journey and sharing your story. And we want to support you. So again, go to Instagram at fat.2.fit.amyp.
Yep.
God bless you. Thank you for getting on the ark.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yep.